Hey guys, it's KJ from the Scariest Movie Ever channel on YouTube, and I've got something here I want to show you, and it's definitely something to consider. Oftentimes here on the channel we cover the idea of a satanic elite, of people at the top of the pyramid in politics and the entertainment and other industries throughout the world are literally worshiping the devil. My channel has explored this subject for years. Many other channels have explored this subject for years. I believe we have enough proof of this idea. So a few topics I'm going to cover here. One is predictive programming and the other one is lesser magic. I want to show you how I think that we're being prepared for a big event in New York City. Whatever the next event will be, whatever that's going to look like, I believe that we're being prepared for this. There is predictive programming in place, having us focus on New York City. Part of what I believe is happening here is called lesser magic. So lesser magic is a manipulative magic, and it consists of gaining results obtained through various devices and contrived situations, which once utilized can create change. So we've already seen a classic example of this in the 9/11 event that happened in New York City. After it happened, it didn't take long for people online to start noticing that there were a lot of interesting parallels to this in entertainment specifically. This was predictive programming. We found that for years we'd been seeing the Twin Towers being destroyed in all forms of media, from comics to movies to TV shows, even commercials. So keeping that in mind and in following that logic, is it really that much of a reach to believe that we're being conditioned right now, and have been for many years, not just for the destruction of the Twin Towers in New York City, but for the actual destruction of New York City itself? Because I'm going to show you multiple examples here of how we're constantly seeing the destruction of New York. And these cross decades. You may remember this one right here, Escape from New York in 1981. We also saw the destruction of New York City in Ghostbusters. This one's from 1984. And once again, in the newest version of Ghostbusters, we have the destruction of New York City. We also have the destruction of New York City in the Avengers film. Now actually you can add most Marvel films to this. I don't want to go through the whole list, but if you check it out for yourself, you'll see that typically in these Marvel films, you're seeing New York City being destroyed. We also have the Independence Day films. The original was from '96, and they just had a new one a few years ago. So again, New York City being destroyed. In the film Armageddon from 1998, New York City destroyed. And speaking of 1998, we had another film come out where New York was under attack, and that was Godzilla, the 1998 version. And this is a screenshot from the newest version of Godzilla from just a few years ago, where once again New York City is under attack. We also have the 2009 film The Watchmen, where at the end of the film, New York City is completely blown up. In another film from 1998, Deep Impact, once again the destruction of New York. The film Day After Tomorrow, 2004, and this is from the film Knowing in 2009, New York City destroyed. This is from the Steven Spielberg movie AI in 2001. More destruction coming from New York City. This is from the movie The Day the Earth Stood Still in 2008. We also have several of the Transformers films, where once again New York City is constantly being destroyed. The Dark Knight Rises, another film signaling the destruction of New York City. And this is from the 2008 film Cloverfield, once again, New York destroyed. Even in the 2016 comic book movie called Doctor Strange, we have segments in the film of New York City under attack being destroyed. There's an Adam Sandler movie from a few years ago called Pixels, where once again it was all about chaos in the streets of New York being destroyed. And I'm sure that many of you are probably thinking of other films where you've seen New York City being destroyed, right? I mean, I just wanted to cover a few of them. I know there's others out there, so you can leave some of those below in the comments if you're interested. But I wanted to add a few more elements to this. The idea of us being programmed for this, of predictive programming, of lesser magic, of this beast system showing us what's going to happen before it does, It's come up in other areas as well. You may have heard of Jonathan Kleck. He's decoded a lot of the money. You can actually find on a lot of our money, you can find the 9/11 attacks. You can also find other future events, and one of which is the destruction of New York City by a flood. You can look this up for yourself, but there are tons of people who've had visions and dreams of this coming well over the last 5 years or so. And the money itself is lesser magic. It's paper, and they basically wrote their occult plans, the end of the world plans on there, and they called it money. So all day long, people all around the world are familiarizing themselves with these plans. They're being programmed into this, so they can become a part of the ritual, a part of the spell that they're under. Here's something else you should look up. This is from St. John's Pillars, which are in New York City. And it's all about the end of time. It's all about the end of the world. In fact, here's one of the pillars right here showing a massive wave coming over New York City. They also have an example on here of the birthing of the Antichrist. And here's another example of, obviously, waves destroying everything. And here's yet another example, once again, of lesser magic predictive programming. This is from a card game called the Illuminati card game. It was made back in '93. What's fascinating about this game is that tons of the cards that are in there have been predictors for future events. We've actually seen these things happen since the creation of this card game. Most of you watching this video are already familiar with this, but if you're new to this, please go look it up for yourself, and you'll find once again a classic example of lesser magic, of predictive programming, just like the money, just like the movies. So I'll leave you with that, guys. I think this is very interesting stuff. I think it's something to be watching for. This is the world we live in. So there's countless other shows and movies that allude to New York being destroyed. And I do believe this is a form of lesser magic because we've seen this played out in the past. So I'm not making these videos to scare you. I think it's just important to be prepared and to understand what time it is. We've already had the event in 9/11 that we could look back on and see all the predictive programming. So the question is, are we being programmed now for a future mass event in New York City? So we know the federal monetary system is run by the Illuminati Zionist bankers. So is this an example right here of more predictive programming? Because if anybody is an insider, the Fed bankers are. So I think it's very interesting. They even put it in the headline that they're concerned about, quote, natural disasters. So until next time, thank you very much for checking out the video. You guys take care out there, and I'll talk to you real soon.